When I was 11, I asked my parents if I could invite Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over for dinner, and they didn't say Allah doesn't need to eat or that's blasphemy. They said, of course you can. And I wrote menus and I set the table for my family of four with a fifth place for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though of course not. And when I was done, I said, oh Allah, please join us for dinner. And I remember at 11, I wasn't like religiously connected, so I don't know how this moment happened for me. But I remember this immense moment of presence. I remember feeling like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was present with me. It was a feeling I had never experienced before, and I began to weep because my heart was so full with emotion. And many years after that, I didn't connect with Islam. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be Muslim, but going to the Kaaba was the first time I felt that presence again. And when I felt that moment of being present in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my heart again was so full. And in that moment, I remember having so many emotions. I'd be very, very regretful of my life. I had my own fears and sad moments of sadness and everything, but I felt like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was with me. And that moment of presence, that feeling of presence that fills your heart so much that you just weep out of the sweetness of that connection is what I keep thinking about when I see the children in Gaza. Yesterday, many of you probably saw two little boys who were maybe 3 and 4 that were crushed. And I saw one of them, his tongue is sticking out, the other one, his eyeball had come out because of the pressure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that when the angels of death that are giving glad tidings come, they tell the person that they're taking not to be afraid and not to grieve and to give them the promised glad tidings of paradise. And I think about how on the outside, what we are seeing is absolute horror. But in that moment, are they feeling this presence? Are they feeling this connection and this closeness that fills their hearts so much that they don't fear and they don't grieve? Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would bless an 11-year-old who didn't know what she was doing with this overwhelming joy, so much so that my whole heart was full and I couldn't even contain it and I wept as a child because of that closeness, then how much more so curving of that feeling of everything is going to be okay, inshallah. There is something so much better than this, that you are going to be with the people that you love. How much more so do the children of Gaza deserve it?